Hello and welcome everybody to the Creatrix YouTube channel and myself Ankit Goyal here in front of you presenting a lecture on analog electronics. So guys, soon you will be watching one of the best lectures on analog electronics, but before doing that, let me first introduce myself, my dear friends. My name is Ankit Goyal. I got AIR1 twice in GATE in 2014 and 2018. I was awarded the President of India Gold Medal in the year 2013 when I graduated from IIT Indore. Till date, I have taught more than 1 lakh students in the online and the offline classes, and presently I am working as a director at an academy for GATE department. But the reason, my friend, the reason for this series is because many students were asking for analog electronics, and I had recorded analog electronics just a short while ago. But due to that huge demand, we are giving you the recorded content of the analog electronics, and you are absolutely going to love it because it will provide you an in-depth analysis of analog electronics. And that analysis will be more based on network analysis than EDC. So if you don't have a prior knowledge of EDC, that is not at all required. When I am teaching analog electronics, I will be relating it more towards the network analysis. So you need to have a good basic understanding of network analysis so that you can do well in analog electronics. And my dear friend, what I believe is after this lecture series is over, your fear of analog electronics will definitely go away, and it will seem to be one of the easiest subject ever, because you will be applying the fundamental laws and you will be finding all the answers. Okay, so it will become very easy even for an electrical engineer, because I believe electrical engineers think of analog electronics as a nightmare. They are more comfortable in machines, power system, but not in analog. But now this analog electronics course will stand you at par with the ECE engineers, and you will be able to do well in analog electronics, and I believe you can get 100% marks in analog in GATE and ESE through this course. Okay, so my dear friend, you need to watch all these videos carefully. You need to understand each and every point, and they will also have a large number of questions, so your problem solving ability will be developed. And now my dear friends, you can also join us on Unacademy Plus. With Unacademy Plus, what is the benefit if I am teaching here on YouTube itself? My dear friend, GATE rank or ESE rank is not only about the lectures. First thing you have to understand that when you come to Unacademy, the level of teaching, the level of interaction, discussion is way higher than it can ever be done on YouTube. Because there we are interacting live with the students, and you will feel that your teacher is sitting right in front of you and teaching you on a one-to-one basis. So that sort of a feeling you will get on Plus. You will feel like somebody is taking a tuition class when he is teaching on Plus. That level of personalization is there. But not only live classes, you also get recorded sessions. Whatever session you miss will be available in the recorded form. You get daily practice papers for practice. You get weekly tests to test your preparation level. You get test series, previous year question bank, short courses like crash course and rank improvement batch, and you also get doubt clearing by all the top educators. Now when you get so many things in just one subscription, then I believe if you are serious enough to crack GATE and ESE, you can get the top rank in GATE and ESE. And you can also go for Iconic. Iconic is a superset of Plus subscription. It contains everything that is there in Plus, but many things that are there extra in Iconic, like a personal coach who will be guiding you on a one-to-one basis about the difficulties that you face, about your weaknesses, about the challenges that you might face, about the strategy part. Everything he will tell you in a one-to-one session. Then he will be seeing your test results and giving you a personalized test analysis about what are your weaknesses and how you can overcome them. Then every 2 weeks, there will be a study booster session in which you can ask your doubts, whatever problems you have, and they will be helping you clear them. That is again one-to-one. Other than that, you will also get personalized study material. Here you will get theory notes and you will get question banks. You will get interview guidance. Soon enough, interview guidance will also be added. So the student who is starting his journey right now and looking to crack GATE and ESE with the top rank, Iconic will be the best subscription for that. Stay with me till the end of the video and I'll tell you about the pricing of these subscription. And my dear friends, if you like the videos that we are putting on YouTube, we have created an entire repository at this link. bit.ly/GateLive. Here you will find all the PDFs of all the lectures and all the YouTube links. So here you will find the complete syllabus of GATE, electrical, EC and IN. You will find it arranged subject wise, chapter wise with lecture links and PDF. So this is better than any other paid course available in the market, and plus is even better than this. So you can understand, whatever everybody else is providing you paid courses, we are providing you such a course for free via YouTube. So go and visit this link and take the benefit of all the lectures that are available. Other than that, my friend, I have also created a repository of my free classes on Unacademy called as the special classes. You need to open this URL, download the Unacademy Learning app, and you can attend all my free classes, live quizzes and test series. Yes, my dear friend, we are running a free test series as well. So once you download the Unacademy Learning app without even paying a single rupee, you can watch all the free classes by all the top educators along with their free live quizzes. And every Sunday we are conducting a free test that also you can become a part of. And if you want to learn from me, then my entire content is available on this URL. You can just go and visit this URL and see subject by subject, chapter by chapter, whatever I have taught, that will be available on this link. So first link will provide you all the YouTube classes for free and their PDF, and the second link will provide you my special classes on Unacademy. So that much content we are providing for free. Go and watch it, and if you like it, I would suggest that you come to Plus and use the code AnkitESE. Because my dear friend, with Ankit ESE, you will get an immediate 10% discount, as well as you will be connected to me and we can work together to get you the best GATE rank just like I obtained in 2014 and 2018. So if you want my guidance, if you want the best guidance in this market, if you want the best educators, then you have to join Unacademy. And while joining Unacademy, apply the code AnkitESE to get immediate discount over and above whatever Unacademy is providing. You will get 10% additional off. Okay, so now my dear friends, let's go and watch the lecture and let's learn something new that you might never ever have learned, and let's enjoy the beauty of analog electronics. And I'll meet you again after the video and I'll tell you about the plans and the pricing.
Hi guys, in this video we'll cover the semiconductor physics portion that we were talking about in the earlier video. So first let us see what we have covered in the previous one. In the previous one, I started by telling you the different type of material, that is crystalline, amorphous and pseudo-crystalline type of material. I told you in crystalline material there is long range ordering, or all the atoms are ordered in a particular manner. In pseudo-crystalline there is ordering but only over short distance. In amorphous type of material there is no ordering. Then we went on to discuss about three type of material based on conductivity, that is insulators, semiconductors and then conductors. I told you that these materials differ in their charge carrier concentration. So when we talk about charge concentration, it is represented by N. It has units per centimeter cube. Insulators have a maximum of 10 to the power 6. Semiconductors have a maximum of 10 to the power 21. For semiconductor, it has a very wide range, and that is the most important feature of semiconductor, that their conductivity can be varied over large range, and that is why they are used to construct electronic devices. Then we talked about the concept of conduction band and valence band. Okay. I told you conduction band contains electrons which are free from atom and can take part in conduction. Valence band contains electrons that are bound to the nucleus and present in the outermost shell of an atom. I told you conduction band energy is high, valence band energy is low. So minimum conduction band energy is given by EC, maximum valence band energy is given by EV, and we very well know EC will be greater than EV. So the difference between EC and EV is called as band gap. So in insulators, the band gap energy is more than 5 electron volt. In conductor, there is no band gap. In semiconductors, it is less than 5 electron volt. Okay. So that is the general concepts of the semiconductor physics that we talked about in the previous video. Now in this lecture, I will be only talking about the semiconductors and the concepts that are relevant to the semiconductor. So first let us understand about classification of semiconductor. So the first type of semiconductor material is called as pure semiconductor. Pure semiconductor means that there is no impurity. What is meant by impurity? That is atoms which are not desired. Like suppose I have silicon crystal. In that crystal, any atom other than silicon is undesirable, so it will be called as impurity. Okay, like if I have germanium crystal, so any atom other than germanium will be considered as impurity. But if you have studied semiconductors anyhow earlier, you will be thinking right now that such materials are called as intrinsic. Now why I am calling it as pure? Because other than this condition for pure semiconductor, there is one more condition: no crystal defect. Now what is this crystal defect actually? See, I told you a crystal is regular arrangement of atoms. Now suppose I have a three-dimensional crystal in the form of a cube. Okay, like this. Now these are all atoms at the edges. Now if this one atom leaves its position and moves here from A to B, it is called as defect. That is, if there is any disturbance in the regular arrangement of atoms, if any atom is removed from its position or it changes its position, then it will be called as a crystal defect. Okay, so that means this is a perfect crystal which is not practically possible. Is it fine? Because if you have crystalline material, see, in a crystalline material, if we are transporting such a material, if we are carrying, we are processing, we are doing anything with that material, if there is some force on that material, then the atom can change its position. So you can never ensure that atoms will always be at their position, and not even one atom will be changing its position. Because somehow if the crystal gets distorted, then it will never be a pure type of crystal. Okay, so perfect arrangement is impossible to achieve. Some atoms will always be dislocated from their position, and it will be called as a crystal defect. Now when we have started talking about semiconductor, let us talk about the concept of hole. What is this hole? Hole is basically a vacancy of electron. Now how this vacancy appears? Suppose I have an atom. Suppose this is an atom. I have carbon atom. There are 2 electrons in the innermost shell. How many electrons are there in the outermost shell? There are 4 electrons. Okay. Now suppose if this one electron goes away, then its position will be vacant, and this will be called as a hole. So hole is nothing but it is absence of electron or vacancy of an electron, that will be called as a hole. So why will hole be created? Holes will be created when electron become free from atom. I told you when electron is ionized from an atom, it becomes a part of conduction band. If it becomes a part of conduction band and it starts to conduct current, then it will leave behind a vacancy and that will be called as a hole. See, when we talk about carbon chemical configuration, it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. Okay, that means there are 4 electrons in the valence band. Why 4 not 6? Because valence band only contains outermost electrons. These 2 electrons are called as core electron. So there will be 4 electron. Now if you promote 1 electron from valence band to conduction band, then what will happen? Here there will be vacancy, and this vacancy will be called as hole. So what you can say, when an electron goes to conduction band, it leaves a hole in the valence band, because initially all the electrons are present in the valence band, and if ever they are moving to the conduction band, a hole is generated in the valence band. So that means electron and hole are created together. Hole creation is clear to me. Hole creation means the leaving of a vacancy when electron goes from valence band to conduction band. But what is meant by electron creation? Electron creation means, electron creation implies jumping of electron to conduction band. So electron creation means actually free electron creation. So free electron means electron present in the conduction band. So electron will be present in the conduction band whenever it jumps from valence to the conduction band, and in that situation it will leave behind a hole in the valence band, and that is why it is called as electron hole pair, because they go in pair, they are never alone. So whenever electron goes into conduction band, a hole is generated in the valence band. So can you say that number of electron will be equal to number of hole? This number of electron means electrons in conduction band. Remember this thing. Whenever I'll talk about number of electron, I'll talk about number of electron in the conduction band or free electron. So that is why electron and hole concentration will always be equal. Okay, that is a pure semiconductor. So now what you have to remember in pure semiconductor, that there is no impurity as well as there is no crystal defect, and if we promote an electron from valence to conduction band, a hole is generated in the valence band, and electron and hole are generated in a pair, so it is called as electron hole pair. Okay. Now the next category after pure semiconductor, the second one is called as intrinsic semiconductor. So intrinsic means no impurity, but it can have crystal defect. Okay, it can have crystal defect, and that is called as the intrinsic semiconductor. Now in the previous slide I have told you, whenever any electron will jump from valence to conduction band, there will be a hole or vacancy created in the valence band. That is why I told you number of holes is equal to number of electrons, or you can say hole concentration will be equal to electron concentration. Is it fine? Now the other phenomena that is happening is that some electrons are also coming back to the valence band. Whenever electron comes back from valence band to conduction band, see, energy of valence band is less than energy of conduction band. So to send it to higher energy, what you will need to give? You will need to give energy. If you give energy, electron will go from lower energy to higher energy. But if it comes from higher energy to lower energy, it will give back the energy. So when electron goes from valence to conduction band, we have to provide the energy, and when it comes back from conduction to valence band, it gives out the energy. So this is the first process is called as electron hole pair generation, because whenever electron goes from valence to conduction, a hole is generated in valence band and electron is created in the conduction band. But when it comes back to the valence band, the vacancy is removed. If it comes back to its original position, the vacancy will be removed. So that is called as electron hole pair recombination. Recombination means, what I mean to say here is that here there was electron, here there was a hole or vacancy. Okay, if this electron comes back here, so electron from conduction band will disappear and hole from valence band will disappear, and that will be called as electron hole pair recombination. Okay, are you getting my point? When electron comes back from conduction to valence band, it will terminate a hole in the valence band and electron from the conduction band. So there are two phenomena going on simultaneously, that is generation and recombination. If suppose I say number of electron generated is equal to number of electron recombining, that is, if 10 electrons are generated and 10 electrons are recombining, what you can say? Number of electron in conduction band will remain constant. It will neither increase nor decrease. Suppose there are 5 electrons in the conduction band. Okay, there are 5 electrons in the conduction band. Now 2 electrons go from valence to conduction. 2 electrons go from valence to conduction. So how many electrons are there in the conduction? There will be 5 plus 2, 7 electron. Now 2 will come back from conduction to valence. If 2 are coming back from conduction to valence, again only 5 will be left. So if number of electrons going from valence to conduction and going from conduction to valence are equal, electron concentration will remain constant, and this condition is called as thermal equilibrium. Okay. If someone asks you what is thermal equilibrium, it is a state in which the generation and recombination are equal to each other, and hence the electron and hole concentration remains constant, is called as your thermal equilibrium. Is it fine? So at thermal equilibrium in intrinsic semiconductor, hole concentration will be equal to electron concentration. So what we have learnt about intrinsic semiconductor, in such semiconductors there is no impurity present, but in such kind of semiconductors there can be crystal defect or electrons or atoms missing from their original position. Now how do I show an intrinsic semiconductor? Let me remove this. Okay. How will I show an intrinsic semiconductor? I will take a silicon atom. Silicon belongs to the same group as the carbon atom, so it will have 4 outermost electrons like this. Okay, 4 outermost electron. Then there will be silicon atoms around this also, like this. In a crystal there will be other atoms also. So I am talking about no impurity, so all the atoms will be silicon only. Or you can draw some more like this. Now each atom will have 4 electrons in the outermost shell, like this. There are 4 electrons with each atom. So these 2 electrons will form a double bond. These 2 will form, these 2 will form, these 2 will form. 2 lines means a double bond. Like this. Okay, now see this atom. It is sharing. It is a covalent bond actually. Covalent bond is formed by sharing of electrons. If it is forming covalent bond with 4 other silicon atoms, if you see, it had 4 electrons. Now it gets 4 more electrons from the other 4 silicon atoms. So how many electrons does it have now? 8 electron. It has completed its octet. We know that every atom tries to have 8 electrons in the outermost shell, and that is why it is forming double bonds with the 4 other silicon atoms and completing its octet in the outermost shell. And that is the structure of intrinsic semiconductor in case of silicon. Okay. Now let us talk about extrinsic semiconductor. In extrinsic, the first category is p-type. Before going to p-type, let us talk about extrinsic. In extrinsic semiconductor, impurities are added. Impurities are added either to increase number of holes or number of electron. Holes means vacancy. Okay. So extrinsic semiconductor will have crystal defect as well as your impurity. Pure semiconductor neither has crystal defect nor impurity. Intrinsic has crystal defects but not impurity. Is it fine? But extrinsic has both the things, impurity as well as the crystal defect. Now, if the number of electrons are greater than number of holes, this is your electron concentration, this is your hole concentration. This not means thermal equilibrium. Thermal equilibrium means generation equal to recombination. Then it is called as N-type semiconductor. Similarly, if holes are greater than electrons, then it is called as P-type semiconductor. So I am telling you that we are adding impurity in order to increase the number of holes or number of electrons, and that is giving rise to your extrinsic or the intrinsic, P-type or the N-type semiconductor. Now what is this impurity actually? If we have group 4 semiconductor, group 4 semiconductor means silicon or germanium, then the impurity will be from either from group 3 or group 5. Group 3 means impurities such as boron. Group 5 means impurities such as phosphorus. In group 3, there are 3 electrons in the outermost shell. In group 5, there are 5 electrons in the outermost shell. But in group 4, there are only 4 electrons. Now you can understand, if you are adding group 3 impurity, then it only has 3 electrons. If it only has 3 electrons, means there is 1 electron less than the silicon or germanium. Silicon and germanium each has 4 electrons, but boron has 3. So it has 1 electron less, or it has a vacancy of 1 electron. That means it has a hole. But here there is 1 electron extra, so it has electron. So you have to compare it with the original crystal. If number of electrons are less, you will say that that atom has a hole, and if number of electrons are more, then you will say that it has electrons. So suppose if I have a silicon crystal for p type, what I will do? For p type, we need to increase number of holes. To increase number of holes, we will add boron because it has a hole. To increase number of electrons, we will add phosphorus. So in this, what I will add? I will add boron. If I add boron, here there is silicon, 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 silicon. Initially it is like this. Now if you bombard it with boron, suppose this boron atom is coming here. What it will do? It will strike this silicon atom. Silicon will go somewhere else and boron will occupy this position. Okay. So what happens when you bombard with the impurity? When you bombard with the impurity, it occupies the position of the original atom, and the original atom moves to other location. So when we want to show it using crystal structure, as I showed you for intrinsic type of semiconductor, what I'll do, I will again form a crystal. This much is clear na? What is a extrinsic type of semiconductor which has certain impurity? So what I'll do is, I will take boron atom. Now it is surrounded on all sides by silicon atom. Okay. It is surrounded on all sides by silicon atom. Silicon atom we know has 4 electrons. Okay. But this boron atom has how many electrons? This boron atom has only 3 electrons. So these 3 electrons will form a double covalent bond with the silicon atoms. But here if you form a bond, there is 1 electron missing. This missing electron will be called as a hole. Okay, this is a hole. So that means by introduction of boron atom, you are introducing a hole. So each boron atom produces 1 hole. Now if you say that the concentration of boron atom is equal to Na per centimeter cube. Na means acceptor impurity concentration. Why acceptor? Because it has vacancy. If it has vacancy, it can absorb or accept 1 electron. So that is why it is called as acceptor impurity. Each boron atom is providing 1 hole. That is why you can say hole concentration will also be equal to Na. Okay. So each boron atom will contribute 1 hole. Okay. In intrinsic semiconductor, what happens? I told you number of electron equal to number of holes. It is equal to Ni. Ni means intrinsic concentration. Okay. So Ni is actually equal to 1.5 into 10 to the power 10 for silicon. So when you are adding boron atoms, each boron atom is giving one hole. So how many holes are coming? Na. So now what you will say, that hole concentration is Ni. Ni was an intrinsic, but due to boron we have Na number of holes extra. Okay. Ni were originally present when there was no boron, but now boron is contributing to more number of holes, which will be Ni plus Na. This is approximately equal to Na. Because this Na is of the order of 10 to the power 22. Now here Ni is 10 to the power 10. So 10 to the power 10 plus 10 to the power 22 will be approximately 10 to the power 22. Is it fine? So in a p-type semiconductor, what do? We introduce group 3 impurity, which has only 3 electrons, or it has 1 electron less than group 4. And if it has less number of electrons, then it will be called as acceptor impurity, because it will accept or absorb 1 electron and it will increase the number of holes. Is it fine? Now let us talk about n-type semiconductor. In n-type semiconductor, we have group 5 impurity. Group 5 impurity means in the outermost shell, it should have 5 electron or 1 electron more than silicon or group 4 element. So how you will show it in the crystal? Suppose I am adding phosphorus. It is surrounded on all sides by silicon. Okay, on all the sides there will be silicon atom. Now we know each silicon atom has 4 outermost electrons, like this. What about phosphorus? How many outermost electrons? 5. Now these 4 electrons will form double bond. Now octet is complete. This 1 electron is extra. So it will donate this electron. It will donate this electron or make it free electron. If it becomes free electron, it will start to take part in conduction. So you can say each phosphorus atom contributes 1 electron. If the concentration of phosphorus is equal to Nd, Nd means donor impurity concentration. Why donor? Because it is donating 1 electron. Then you can say that electron concentration due to phosphorus will also be equal to Nd. Okay. If each phosphorus is contributing 1 electron and Nd number of phosphorus atoms are there, then there will be Nd number of electrons contributed by phosphorus. As I told you, in intrinsic semiconductor, holes and electron concentration were equal to Ni. Now electron concentration will become Ni plus Nd, because Ni is due to silicon and Nd is due to phosphorus. So in this case, in n-type, electron concentration will increase and become more than hole, and in p-type, hole concentration will be more than electron concentration. Is it fine? Now whichever charge carriers are more, like in n-type, it has more electrons. So electrons are called as majority carriers. In p-type, holes are more, so holes are called as majority carrier, and whichever is less is called as minority carrier. The charge carriers more in number will be called as majority carriers, and the charges which are charge carriers which are less in number will be called as minority carriers. Now there is a law which is called as law of mass action. What does this law states? It states at thermal equilibrium, product of hole and electron concentration is constant. What does it mean? N naught and P naught product is equal to Ni square. Okay. Now just now I told you in a p-type semiconductor, P naught was equal to Ni plus Na, which I told approximately equal to Na. So how many electrons will be there? Ni square by P naught or Ni square by Na. Similarly, in n-type semiconductor, N naught was Ni plus Nd. Donor concentration will always be higher than Ni, so it is equal to Nd. So P naught will be Ni square by N naught, or you can say Ni square by Nd. Okay. This is of the order of 10 to the power 22. Okay. Generally what we do is we keep it between. Okay. This is a general. That I took an exceptional case 10 to the power 22, but generally 10 to the power 16 to 18 it remains. So Ni square is 10 to the power 20 because I told you Ni for silicon is 1.5 into 10 to the power 10. So 10 to the power 20 divided by 10 to the power 16, 10 to the power 4. That means here P naught is much greater than N naught. Similarly here Ni square is of the order of 10 to the power 20. Ni is 10 to the power 10. Square will be 10 to the power 20 by 10 to the power 16. It will be 10 to the power 4. So in n-type semiconductor, electrons are very much higher than the holes, and in p-type semiconductor, holes are very much higher than the electrons. But remember, at thermal equilibrium, what is meant by thermal equilibrium? When generation and recombination rates are equal, it is called as thermal equilibrium. In that case, the product of electron and hole concentration will remain same. Now we will talk about the last topic in this semiconductor physics, that is currents in a semiconductor. Now when we talk about the currents, there are two types of currents. One is called as diffusion current and the second is called as drift current. Now diffusion is a process that we study before our BTech courses. It means movement of particles from higher concentration to lower concentration. Here these particles are electrons and holes. Okay. But I told you that hole is nothing but vacancy of electron. So how does this vacancy move? Okay. Hole is nothing but vacancy of electrons. So how does the vacancy move? Let me show you this. Suppose these are the two atoms. It has an electron and it has a hole. Now if this electron goes here, that is, it occupies this vacancy. Hole is nothing but vacancy. Then vacancy will be created here. So if electron goes from atom number 1 to atom number 2, you can say that hole has come from atom 2 to atom 1. So actually holes never move. But when electron moves into a hole, we can see that hole moves in the opposite direction. That is, when electron leaves an atom and goes to the other atom, it leaves behind a hole. So if you see, you will say that hole has moved in the opposite direction. So in diffusion current, what we say is that when charge carriers move from higher concentration to lower concentration, which charge carriers? Electron and holes. Then it is said to be diffusion current. In drift current, what we say is movement of charge carriers due to electric field. Okay, when charge carriers move due to electric field, then it is called as drift current. Remember, hole is electron vacancy. If it is electron vacancy, it will be positive charge. Okay, and electron will be negative charge. Is it fine? That is why there is always zero charge in case of a semiconductor, because positive charge will always cancel the negative charge. Is it fine? Positive charge always cancels the negative charge. There is net zero charge in a semiconductor. So if electrons and holes are moving due to the higher to lower concentration, it is called as diffusion current. If they are moving due to electric field, it is called as drift current. So let us first talk about the diffusion current. Okay, I will first talk to you about diffusion current. When we talk about diffusion current, so charge carriers always moves from high concentration to low concentration. It means concentration is non-uniform. Now charge carriers were injected by means of doping. Doping is a process of adding impurity. When I was making extrinsic semiconductor, I was adding impurities, either group 3 or group 5. The process of adding those impurities is called as doping. Now, when there is non-uniform doping, then concentration of charge carriers is also non-uniform. Now the flux or flow is proportional to concentration gradient, that is rate of change of concentration with distance, that is called as concentration gradient. Is it fine? So remember, the flux due to flow of charge carriers is proportional to the concentration gradient. So first let us talk about the current density. Current density is proportional to E into is equal to E into flux. Flux means number of charge carriers per unit time. Okay, so E into flux, that is proportional to E into dC by dx. Current density means current per unit area. It is proportional to the charge of each electron multiplied by the concentration gradient. So we say that current density is equal to E d dC by dx. D is your proportionality constant. It is also called as diffusion constant. Okay. Remember this formula. The current density due to diffusion is equal to E into D into dC by dx. Okay. Flux is proportional to dC by dx. Current density is equal to E into flux. Now we'll talk about the current density of diffusion due to both holes and electrons. One by one we'll proceed. Okay. So first I'll talk about electrons. Suppose here there are 4 electrons. Here there are more number of electrons. Okay. So electrons are increasing. So electrons will go from, suppose this is x equal to 0, this is x equal to L. So concentration increases as x increases. Concentration is increasing with respect to x. So you can say dC by dx is greater than 0. Now electrons will go from high concentration to low concentration. But we know current always flows in opposite direction to the electrons. So this will be Jn. Jn means current density due to electron. Okay. So now this Jn due to diffusion, it will be equal to E dn dC by dx. It will come out to be positive. Why positive? Because current flows in x direction. If it were flowing in minus x direction, then I will say minus sign. Okay. Now same if we derive for holes. Why I have written dn? It is diffusion coefficient of electron. Diffusion coefficient for electron. Now the same thing I talk about holes. Suppose there are 4 holes here and there are more number of holes. Now here also concentration is increasing with x. That is dC by dx is again greater than 0. So holes will move from higher concentration to lower. Holes are positively charged. Current flows in the direction of positive charge. So this will be the direction of Jp. Now this Jp diff is flowing in minus x direction. So we will write a minus sign. Minus E dP dC by dx. Okay. These are the diffusion current due to electrons and holes. In holes we have minus sign, but in electrons we have plus sign. Now next we will talk about the second component of current, that is drift current. In drift current it is current due to electric field. The current density in the drift case equal to C E Vd. Vd is your drift velocity. Drift velocity is written as mu into E, where mu is mobility and E is the electric field. This mobility has the unit centimeter square per volt second. Okay. So you can say that the current density due to drift is C E mu E. So it is directly proportional to electric field, and hence this is the current flowing due to electric field. Now when we talk about electrons, let us talk about electrons. Suppose this is electric field. We very well know that electrons flow in opposite direction to the field. electrons experience a force opposite to the electric field and current flows opposite to the direction of electrons. So this is Jn. So what I will say, Jn drift, it is in same direction of electric field. So it is N. N is electron concentration. Okay, here C is concentration. Since we are talking about electrons, we will take electron concentration. N E, mu N E. Mu N is electron mobility. Similarly, when we talk about holes, holes are positive charge. So they will have force in the same direction of electric field. Holes will move in the same direction. And current also flows in the same direction of positive charge. It will be Jp. So what you will say? Jp drift is equal to P E mu P E. P is hole concentration and mu P is hole mobility. Okay. Now if you see, both the currents are flowing in the direction of the electric field. Okay. If they are both flowing in the direction of electric field, that means both currents are parallel. If both currents are parallel, they can be directly added. So what I can say? That J drift is equal to Jp plus Jn, N E mu N E plus P E mu P E. So what I can say? E N mu N plus P mu P into E. Now we also know that there is Ohm's law which says that J equal to sigma E. So we can say conductivity is E multiplied by N mu N plus P mu P. That is the conductivity of semiconductor, and as you can see, it depends on charge carrier concentration, and we know we can change the charge carrier concentration by doping, and if we can change the charge carrier concentration, we can change the conductivity, and that is why semiconductors are so popular. That is, they are used to construct electronic devices because we can change the conductivity. Is it fine? And always remember that mu P is much less than mu N. Electrons always have higher mobility. That is why it is always preferable to have N-type semiconductor than P-type. Why N-type semiconductor? It will have more number of electrons, and that too have higher mobility. So conductivity will be more. So you can say conductivity of N-type semiconductor is more than conductivity of P-type. If conductivity is more, the current and current density will also be more. Last, let us talk about temperature effect. So you can say as temperature increases, it will provide ionization energy to electron. If electron ionizes, it basically goes from valence band to conduction band. If it goes from valence band to conduction band, there is a hole created in valence band. If hole is created in valence band, what you can say? That EHP is generated, electron hole pair is generated due to temperature rise. If electron hole pair is generated, electron and hole concentration will increase and conductivity will also increase. So that is the effect of temperature. That is, by changing the temperature, we can change the charge carrier concentration and conductivity of the device. So if you want to increase the number of charge carrier, you have to provide ionization energy, and that can be done by means of temperature. Okay. So let me summarize what are the effects what we have studied today. First of all, we talked about pure semiconductor. I told you no doping or impurity and no defect. Then we talked about intrinsic semiconductor. It only had no doping but it had defects. We talked about extrinsic semiconductors. They were having doping. If you were doping using group 3, it was called as p-type. In p-type, number of holes are more than number of electrons. Holes are approximately equal to Na. So electrons are equal to Ni square by Na. If we are having group 5 impurity, then it is n-type. In n-type, n0 is greater than p0. n0 is approximately equal to donor density and p0 will be Ni square by Nd. We studied about law of mass action, that is n0 into p0 is equal to Ni square. I told you about the term which is called as thermal equilibrium. Okay. Then we talked about current density. In that I told you Jp diffusion is minus E dp dp by dx. Jn diffusion is E dn dn by dx. N and P are electron and hole concentration. J drift is E n mu n plus P mu p into E. Conductivity is E into n mu n plus P mu p. And I told you at the last that as temperature increases, N0 and P0 increase. That is, electron and hole concentration increase as temperature increase. Also remember, even in intrinsic semiconductor, this Ni also increases with temperature. Okay. So Ni is not constant, it is a function of temperature. It is proportional to temperature to the power 3 by 2. Okay. So intrinsic concentration, don't think that it remains constant, it will change with temperature. Electron and hole both concentrations increase as the temperature is increased. So this much knowledge about semiconductors is sufficient. You don't have to memorize these things, but whenever I'll use these concepts to teach you how a device works, then you should be able to understand what I am talking about and what I am saying. But it will not be directly asked in the numericals. From formula point of view, only this formula is something that you can remember. Okay, only the formula about conductivity. Okay, from the next video onwards, we will talk about diodes directly.
Hello everybody, how did you like the lecture? Did you like it or not? Did you enjoy the concepts or not? Tell me in the chat and the comment section. Did you guys like what you just saw? Did you guys understand each and everything, my dear friends? Okay, so if you liked it, then please share, please like the video and please leave a comment behind, because your comments are very, very valuable to all of us. And we do read your each and every comment and we go through them to understand what are the difficulties you are facing and how we are performing on YouTube. And my dear friend, a bonanza for you. Every subject is available on this YouTube channel. You just need to scroll through the channel and you will find all the courses. EDC, EMT, COM, machine, power system, power electronics, network, signal control, digital, maths, APT, everything is available here, everything. So you can just use this channel as your entire preparatory study material. Okay. Other than that, now all of you who wanted to know about the pricing of Plus, 1 year subscription on Plus will cost you 27,225 if you apply the code Ankit ESE. But now, my dear friend, there is a new subscription, 18-month subscription. Those of you who are starting your preparation mid-year can target GATE twice, or you can target GATE and ESE mains with 1.5 year subscription. That will cost you 34,650 if you apply the code Ankit ESE. If you see the difference, only 7,000 difference is there, but you are getting 6 months extra. And even better, you can go for 2 year. It will cost you 39,600. That is again in just 5,000 rupees, you are getting 6 months extra. So you can target all the exams like GATE, ESE, semester exams, ISRO, BARC, everything you can target with just one subscription. And if you go for Iconic, in which I told you about the personal coach, study material, interview guidance, for 12 months it will cost 4,500 if you use the code Ankit ESE, and for 24 months it will cost you 54,000 if you use the code Ankit ESE. Ankit ESE is your code, my code, our code, and that will give you an instant 10% discount over and above whatever Unacademy is offering you. And my dear friend, that will connect you to me so that we can work together towards getting the best GATE rank. So don't hesitate, join today, because winners always start early, winners never start late. So it's always better to start immediately rather than thinking about it and becoming late and later on regretting your decision. Believe me, you will not even regret one day when you join Plus. So it's high time that you join Unacademy Plus and get the best out of you and become the best version of yourself. And my dear friend, this is the Telegram channel for our YouTube team. You will find all the lecture updates here. And this is my personal Telegram channel. If you wish to get in touch with me with my personal Telegram channel, GATE AIR1. Okay, GATE AIR1 is my Telegram channel. You can get connected to me. You will get notes, you will get lecture links, everything you will get here. All the new initiatives information will be provided here. These are the other channels that we are running in other than Creatrix. You will find Electrical Junction. Here you will find short videos for GATE preparation, GATE question for PYQ, GS Terminal for non-technical content of SSC and RRB, Pathshala to learn engineering through animation, SSC JE for your JE and AE exams, my dear friends. Other than that, Telugu, if you want to learn engineering or GATE and ESE preparation in the Telugu language, if you are comfortable with it, go for Telugu. Other than that, we have separate channel for mechanical, civil, computer science. You will find all these channels. Please share these channels with your friends as well so that they can also get benefited in the same manner that you are getting benefit from our side. Okay. So thank you everybody. See you soon in the next video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Share it among your college friends, among your Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, everywhere you need to share it. And you need to subscribe to this channel, press that red button and hit the bell icon, because my dear friend, this channel is creating a revolution in the GATE and ESE industry, and you, my friend, are a part of this revolution. So see you soon. Thank you.